Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time of day you're starting to watch or view us. Welcome back to another episode of the Conspiracy Keepers. My name is Backlash, and I'm joined with our hosts, Joe Monaco, Scooter McGee, and Jackie.
Silky.
Yeah, Silky. I'll change that as we go along. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey, good afternoon.
Welcome to the day after VD Day.
Yeah. I thought we should have a disclaimer that we're not providing medical advice and this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I know.
Just in
I got a
case.
disclaimer.
Go ahead.
Just take Sola. The opinions, views, and ideas expressed on this show, as crazy as they may be, do not represent those of anyone else, possible owners, stations, friends, family, interns, mascots, or pets. Plants or kids. Take them with a deep breath, a grain of salt, and a shot of your choice. Have a nice day.
That's right. Okay, so how about...
And get hamster food.
So how about the fact that the Olympics, want to go there first?
Yeah, let's do that.
The Olympic Games had to produce snow up on the hills because there wasn't enough. Okay, so China has used enough water to provide drinking water, bathing water, dishwater, and all that stuff to 1 billion equivalent of 1 billion people's water, just to make the snow for the runs up there in the mountains.
Wow.
So
what is the current population of China?
Lots of billions.
Isn't it 3.2 or 3.5 billion people in China? So you're saying they essentially use the water for 26% of their country
to make the snow. So there's money coming from somewhere. All right, Mr. Global lives in China. Are we agreed to that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Look at
I think that sounds fair. Yeah. Yeah. I think that sounds fair.
I missed the meeting. We agreed that Mr. Global lives in China.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the bulk of this thing, you're sitting in front of the Ukraine map, right? And the Russia and all that stuff. Because right now they're trying to pit the United States against China and Russia.
Right.
I mean, this whole thing is supposed to put those two in cahoots together. And there are, it's so powerful. China already has all of it. Woo, he's gone. Yeah, so let's check out that map. Anyway, so I just think it's crazy the lengths that they go to, the Olympic Committee, any of those big organizations are linked to Mr. Global, don't you think, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they are. Yeah, and their signs and symbols and all that kind of stuff,
including the NFL.
Together.
Yes,
they absolutely are. Yeah. Right.
How about that halftime program, folks?
Oh my goodness. By the way, did you guys watch the Freemason Occultic halftime show at the Super Bowl?
Go ahead.
I did watch it.
Were you able to enjoy this? Here's my theory. I think, and this has probably been out there before, but I think if you're over 50, you think it was the most ridiculous halftime you've ever seen in your life. If you're under 40, you probably thought it was great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was obviously geared toward younger people, is my guess on that. Oh my goodness.
Well, I thought it was interesting that there's no instruments. It's just a great big soundboard that's white.
Well, that's part of it. That is part of it. If you and what you might have to do is go back, because they have it online. They have it on YouTube where you can go back and see the halftime show. But you'll have to go back and you can check and see what I'm going to tell you about this Freemason Occultic halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They had it looked like a radio board for TV or radio. And then you had this hand that came up there with a black widow spider on the back. Spiders, snakes are the symbol of, you see it on all the medical profession. You see spiders, it's always involved in the occult. That was really symbolic of the controlling hand. Okay. So they wanted to make sure and show you that. And then you had this map of LA, but it could have been any city. I mean, you know, it was a busy city, but it's LA. It was kind of geared toward LA. That's why I knew the Rams were going to win this game, because they're in their home stadium. They have the halftime show, which was geared toward LA. You've got a map of LA, and LA is gonna win this. Okay, that was already kind of in the plans. And then you have these staircases. Staircases are always used in the occult, especially in Freemasonry, because when you ascend up the staircase, you get to be a 33rd degree Mason when you get to the top, and you see Snoop Dogg and what was the name? Mary J.
Mary J. Blige.
Some of the Blige, yeah. So you see them, you know, they were both at the top of the staircase at one time. So they're sitting up to their staircase. And you see the symbolism, Freemason, you see the black and white, the duality, you have the checkerboard. You had Eminem with and 50 Cent with the black and white checkerboard on. And you guys can check this out. I mean, you have to probably slow it down to see it, but it's just full of signs and symbols. And then once you see they're at the top of the staircase, so they ascended to their higher power, they're 33rd degree Masons. And then you have what I believe was Eminem, and he's upside down. Was that Eminem? Or was that 50 Cent? The guy that was upside down? And,
was he a white guy or black guy?
the black guy with the tank top on, because Eminem's a white guy, right?
But when he was hanging upside down?
So 50 Cent was the guy who was hanging upside down with the tank top on. So he's hanging upside down. So you see this with the law of reversal as well, okay? You see it, they want to do everything backwards. So he's upside down, and you see the red in the background. And so that's a symbolism of he's in hell, right? Okay, you see he's upside down, and the other people are up at the top. And then at the end of this whole debacle, you see Mary J, and she sings, and then she drops over dead. Okay, so this is symbolic as well. So there's just all kinds of Freemason symbolism all over the place. And then you get to the top of the stadium, and you see them, they've got the camera at the top, and they're going down on the black cubes. You see these black cubes, but there's people inside these black cubes. Black cubes are also used in the occult. They're the black cube of Saturn. You can look this up on the internet. You also see it in the mosque. There's a black cube in the middle. So black cubes have been used all over the place in the occult. So you've got these black cubes, and it says Dre Day on it. She's got the 3-3, you got the 33. So you got your numbers and your symbolism. And then if this wasn't enough, at the end, you have all these dancers, and they're kind of in this kind of tan, they look like they're coming out of a prison, but they're not in a prison. If you see the windows in the background, it's kind of like middle-class housing, and it looks like a window where you can see housing, and you see these people in the prison uniforms, and they're dancing, and they're kind of giving us a hint about who we are, being prisoners in our own home during this whole pandemic. But the people don't know it. They don't know it because they're all dancing, and they're happy, and they're in their prisons, and you see their houses in the background, a little middle-class housing. And I'm thinking, oh my God, did I have to sit through all this? So it was just unbelievable. I mean, it's just the symbolism all over the place. And it was, passed off as entertainment. And that's not what this was about. It's a ritual. All these things are rituals, symbolism, and they're putting it out right in front of your face. And the majority of people just don't see it. They're clapping and blah, blah, blah. Isn't this so great? No, it's not so great. Okay,
so there was a meme going around on Facebook yesterday of people baby boomers were watching the halftime show like this. Mm-hmm. Because you're right, we older people kind of don't care, don't get it.
I don't get it. I know.
Yeah, and my point of enjoyment on the halftime show was Snoop Dogg. I just love him. He's so funny. I think. I know he's probably an initiate or whatever.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at the top of the staircase. He's up there.
He was up there, but then he went down. Yeah. But then he went down. Yeah.
Well, if you notice what they did is they kind of, both of them, I think it was Snoop Dogg and Eminem, they were the two that were at the top at one time. And they put their hands straight out, their arms straight out, like they're on a cross. And then they put their hands and they pointed down. And that's when 50 Cent was at the bottom, and he's upside down in hell. So that was all symbolism as well. Go ahead.
Scooter? How about them losing? The Rams winning the game.
Of course they were. I mean, you knew they were going to win. Absolutely. I mean, this was all set up toward LA.
But I love
And,
that they didn't allow Cronky to touch the microphone at the end. You know, the owner of the team. They just had
yeah,
him over
that's
to the
right.
side. Does that guy have
Right.
dementia, you guys? Cronky?
I'm telling you, yeah,
He was
something
kind of
wrong.
leaning forward. I thought
Yeah.
they did a great
Yeah,
job.
something was wrong with him. That's what I thought too. I said, what is wrong with this dude? Yeah, that's I kind of noticed that same thing.
They didn't let him touch the mic. I thought that was hilarious. Is he
I know.
controversial? Does he say bad things about people or what?
I don't think, yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about, but the whole thing was very weird to me. You know, especially after the halftime show, you're getting some questionable calls, you know, that were kind of putting the Rams in a position to win. I'm thinking, of course they're going to win. This whole thing is set up toward LA. Oh my goodness. We're almost at the end of civilization, I'm afraid.
What do you think, Scooter?
Joe's last statement is rather profound. I think we're at the end of civilization. It's beyond bizarre to watch in the bubbles, for example, of social media during a game, as they all become armchair quarterbacks and questioning calls or being responsible for the play. Yeah, we're number one. You're not on the team, you and loser. Sit down and shut up and enjoy the game. Put your mask on. You're not eating. That was a big, how does the media ignore? And they, you know, but there's Megan and Prince, what's his nose, and they're wearing masks at the game. Okay, well, see, that's two people out of, well, the kids in the choir that were singing, because it's all about keeping the kids masked and keeping them conforming, because they can't be the trucker convoy. And I know we were talking about the Super Bowl and halftime, because the whole was Snoop gonna smoke during the halftime. He's piping up right before, hiding and crouching at center field. And so Backlash, we can never tell the story of the DJ booth, because I mean, wow. When does Snoop not smoke pot? How is this not discussed the way it is? Because how they've managed marijuana has created another generation of zombies. This was a horrible thing to do. The way they glamorize it, glorify it, ignore it, pretend it's not there. There's more revenue in illegal dope than there is in legal dope. That is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
The avocado nonsense and the threat to a U.S. inspector. So here comes the embargo. While focus on this, because we can't even control our southern borders. And we're back to Joe's comment that, yeah, we're at the end. But so all the symbolism, because this was a Super Bowl in the halftime. Joe, what were they in the symbolism through your lens of what you saw? What are they telegraphing? What's next?
You know, I don't know. I didn't particularly see necessarily any predictive programming in this as far as where they're going to go, where they're going to take this. I think they were kind of telling us what they're doing right now. Now, I did see something that was pretty interesting. Now, near the end, did you see there was kind of like a white cube and it kind of exploded? Did you notice that? There was kind of, there was some kind of minor explosion. And then there was a lot of people sitting there in a lotus position, and they had lights up, but on their face. It looked like it was just below their nose and on their mouth where they wear the mask, but they didn't have their masks on. They just had the lights there, and they had the explosion. Now, I'm not sure what they were telling us with that. That might have been some kind of predictive programming, but it was something that had to do with some kind of catastrophe because there's an explosion, and the people are just sitting there in this lotus position with a light on their face, and they didn't even flinch when this explosion went off. So your guess is as good as mine as to what they meant by that. But yeah, they absolutely were telling us the way the world is right now, with the people in their prison clothes and they're dancing and they're having a good time and they don't even know that they're in prison. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I saw the other one that where it looked like they were marching.
Yeah,
that one was really interesting to me.
It was very strange. A lot of it was very strange symbolism. You notice the guys that were, I don't know, squatted down in the black cubes. Dr. Dre, that's the guy I was thinking of, Dr. Dre. Mm-hmm. And they all had their hair dyed blonde. Now,
Yeah.
when they do it like that, they were symbolizing MK Ultra because they dye their hair different colors for different facets of their programming. Because programming is done in stages, and different dyes mean different things to these people. So, but they were all dyed blonde. So that was an interesting symbolism as well. So yeah, the thing was just full of occultic symbolism. My gosh, it was all over the place.
All right. The comment you made, Joe, about I know what the fetal position is. I'm not familiar with the lotus position is and what that may or may not mean. Backlash, stand by on the Google. I want you to Google neutron bomb. I always love having this discussion with, conspiracy, whatever, okay? Does this device exist? In the reality of the United States military, how they describe the neutron bomb after the development of the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb, etc., this weapon, the neutron bomb, only kills the people. It leaves the buildings intact, because the atomic bomb and hydrogen bomb and the incredible blast waves they creates just as much, if not more damage than what the neutron bomb would be. And in the 1970s, TV shows and movies and the threat of the neutron bomb, and it all goes away. And Joe, you were sitting there talking about what does this mean, and the bodies in the position, and you used the term lotus position, unless I heard it wrong. That's why right. I don't remember lotus and my brain went right to neutron bomb. And clearly I'm not Googling. Backlash, am I making it up?
No, there's a number of them. Its primary lethal effects comes from the radiation damage caused by the neutrons it emits. Third-degree burns on unprotected skin, and it did say that the neutron bomb didn't leave property intact by limiting. Did not leave property intact by limiting collateral damage. It just destroyed less of it.
Okay. When did we stop? When again, was this just something in the 70s, or is the neutron bomb still in the news?
I haven't heard of it in a while. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I haven't heard of that in a while.
I'm sorry, Backlash. Where are these postings you're reading? Are they of current? From AFF.mil, where this is our mil.gov, where these are military documents of current, or are you kind of looking in the past?
I'm just Googling. So it says, does the U.S. have a neutron bomb? Although the United States has manufactured and stockpiled them in order to mollify public opposition in Europe, it announced in 1981 that they would not be deployed overseas at that time. So
we got them, but they're nowhere in the region. Okay. And then Joe, the other observation is you were talking about the Super Bowl and description of the halftime show and all of the cast of characters. How many years roughly, how many years have we been friends?
Oh, I would say over 15 years.
25.
Longer than that, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
And again, this is the fog again. We're pushing 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
good guess. Married couples don't know.
you have to be a little more specific. You said, how long have we been friends? You didn't say, how long have we known each other?
That's true.
Yeah,
Never mind.
there you
Okay.
go.
But
Absolutely.
in fairness, as you were, again, in the whole world of, and Joe, you can elaborate about birth certificates and all of this. But as you were describing everybody and what you were seeing in the symbolism of secret societies, and in the particular case of your description, Masonic symbols, you didn't know which of the cast of characters were black or white, and you're black.
Well, no, it wasn't that. No, I don't know
And
who
it
the
was
characters
Jackie.
are.
Well, which one? You know they're black or white. Well, no.
No.
And which
remember,
is
I told you.
Eminem or Dr. Dre?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
why?
no.
Because you don't see it, because you're seeing the performer
Mhm.
performing whatever. You're not seeing that first, two-dimensional, what they want you to see crap. And
Yeah.
I found that amazingly, oh, they won't clip that out of context. No, because doesn't matter what color they were hanging upside down.
Yeah, right. Well, like I was saying at the beginning,
That symbolism meant, not
if-
the 2-degree, what their color of their skin was.
if like I say, if you're 40 years old and younger, you know who these people are by name, you know who they are. I'm not extremely familiar with Eminem, 50 Cent, Dr. Dre, all these people. I mean, I kind of know who they are, and I know what I saw in the halftime show as far as the symbolism, but as far as the actual individual characters, that's for the younger than 40 crowd.
And
You know,
that's
that's not
what
for me.
struck me because of what that meant. So, and then from the performer of back to that being upside down.
Yeah.
So being from the perspective of the performer, they're now upside down, but what they're seeing is everybody upside down. Is that their payoff of you are doing our bidding? Does that, from the performer's lens, now seeing the audience all upside down, feed them somewhere else? Does that propel those artists? Is it now follow those artists and where their agenda might go? Because in the wake of the Super Bowl, it was all about Snoop smoking dope right there inside the little thing before doing it. Wait a minute. 96 hours ago, there was a lawsuit and a sex scandal, and he bought a record company that we started with. And where did all those stories go?
Yeah.
They got tidal waved over.
Well, remember what I was saying in the beginning about it being an occult ritual ceremony. And in the occult, they believe in doing everything backwards or upside down and backwards. So that's what
Inversion,
that symbolism was. Right, exactly. As a matter of fact, you talk about Aleister Crowley. He says, let him learn to walk backwards. Let him learn to speak backwards. Let him listen to phonograph records reverse. Let him learn to walk backwards. By the way, who made walking backwards popular?
Michael Jackson.
Exactly right. So these are all rituals done by the occult. They're not there just to entertain you. People think, oh, this is entertaining. It's like, no, it might be entertaining to people, but they have a hidden agenda behind everything that they do. Okay, they don't just do things as art. Like people think, oh, that's really artsy. No, it's a ritual. There's symbolism here. So yeah, that's what the upside down was symbolizing, and that's why they had everything red around him when he was upside down, because it's an initiate ritual to make you think of hell. That's what that was all about.
Wow, I never knew that the Michael Jackson walking backwards was. Dang it, that really hurts.
And the black pants and the red shirt.
And his red lips, maybe, and his.
Well, but he had black pants and red shirt and the black jacket in Billie Jean. And isn't that the moonwalking, or is that where he does it on his toes?
That's where, yeah, I know what you're talking about with the Motown special from like 1983.
Back when he had a monkey.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, okay, so what was the symbolism of him with that stupid monkey?
Well, you know, oh my gosh, I'm not really. I mean, who knows what went through Michael Jackson's mind, you know? But it was kind of odd that where he would go, every place he would have that damn monkey with him. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what it was all the symbolism was about in that upside down thing, you know, when some of them had ascended and some of them had not. He was upside down. So yeah, there was definitely a message in there.
You're supposed to be entertainment.
Sorry, Jackie.
No, I was just going to say, and that was supposed to be entertainment for all the billions of people.
Yeah, and that's the way I think, you know, most people look at it. It's entertainment and it's art, and that's the way people see it. But that's not the way they see it. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I did too. You know, but yeah, look up the black cube, the black cube of Saturn, because you'll see that used in the occult a lot. You'll see that with in statues a lot. You'll see it in a lot of different places, a lot of different buildings. Businesses have them up there. So yeah, that meant something as well.
I do know that the fellows that go to the Wailing Wall,
Yeah.
they have them
right.
on their foreheads, the
Yes,
black
you're
cube,
exactly.
when they do the thing.
You're right. Yes, you're right. As a matter of fact, I was going to bring that. Yes, you're
What is
right.
that
They
for?
absolutely what that's symbolizing.
So
Yeah, it all has occult meanings to them. Backlash.
that was me
Black cube
trying
of
to
Saturn?
Google that, and that's why you started getting choppy.
Okay. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Google the black cube of Saturn and see what pops up on there.
So
Yeah, Jack,
I
you're
asked
exactly right.
Jackie's
The Wailing
question
Wall.
again. What is it when, and are those Hasidic Jews that are doing that when they go to the
Yes.
whale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does, to them, it may mean certain things in certain cultures, but what Jackie of when they're going to the wall, that's the image I saw. Same, the Hasidic Jew that died. I'm not talking to go slamming your head like a bang. No, but they do
But
that.
they do rock, yeah.
Yeah, they
And
do.
what does that, and
Are
what
they
does that
trying to
symbolize
contact
to
the?
them?
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, they do the rocking, and the thing that's ironic about that is because not only do you have the Jewish, people doing it at the Wailing Wall, but it's the exact same thing that they have in the mosque as well. They have that big giant cube as well. So they're supposed to be opposite religions, but they're really not.
But to
They're kind of linked.
but to the Hasidic Jew in the description of what we were talking about, what does it represent to them?
Well, I don't know if we can answer what it means to them because you really have to ask these people that are steeped in those kind of teachings because it means something different to the Jews. It means something different to the Muslims. It means something different to people that are just into the occult. I think it means something different to all these people.
Well, at Mecca, the spot in Mecca.
Yes, right.
Where everyone comes during
Big black cube.
It's a big black cube.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. And it's the black cube of Saturn. And that's what I was saying. It's so ironic. These religions who are supposed to have opposite views really all kind of are linked together with this thing.
Do you guys watch, do you follow Drew Binsky? He's a huge influencer and he's visited every country. As of last year, he finally went to his final country. He's visited every country and he always finds a guide and he just goes with his camera. But anyway, he finally went to Mecca. I know he said they let a Jewish kid in to go see the mosques.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was really, you could feel how amazing of a feat that was. You know what I mean? Energetically, you're like, God, something's going on. I'm gonna let him in there.
Well, I think it also goes back to what we've been talking about a lot in the past, because as this world starts moving to its final destination, which is a one world government, a new world order, they want all the religions linked together. So they don't want separation anymore. So that's another thing that shows that these religions really are going to come together eventually, and they're all going to believe the same thing. They won't be separated, or
they want all religion
anymore.
Dissolved. Government is the new religion.
Well, yeah, but they want them all linked together is the point. They don't want religions, separating the people. They want they want a one world religious system is what they want. Yeah, so that just shows that they are linked together and they are linking them together as we move forward. So
at least that's the goal.
That is the goal. That is the goal. But I don't think that they're going to be successful with it. Now, this is an opinion of mine. I'm not saying that, this is going to be, but I don't think they're going to be successful with it. I think they're going to try, because I think what's going to happen is the same thing that happened back in Genesis in the Bible when they tried with the Tower of Babel. Because remember, the Bible says they all spoke one language, and God didn't want that. So he's confused the languages and forced them to make nations. So anyway, they didn't get to finish their Tower of Babel. That's what they wanted. They wanted the world to be linked together as one. So the occult has been trying to reestablish that Tower of Babel and link the world together as one. But I don't think they'll be successful this time either. They weren't successful the last time they tried it. But that's just an opinion.
No, I don't. There's free will still on the planet. We as humans, Hugh in human means spirit. Yeah. We're spirit man. We're not just man from outer space. We are spirit man. We're different than anything else in the universe. Let's not forget that. And we still have free will, which in other planets and other universes and other dimensions, they don't have free will. We have free will. And that's what we're trying to, this archonic energy that's trying to control the world. And Mr. Global that I talk about, Catherine Austin Fitz is the one who coined that term, Mr. Global. It's the spider, David Icke says the spider, the top of the food chain, the few people that are top of this whole thing. Well, their energy, as we've discussed before, feeds on our fear.
That's right.
The lower we go as a society
right.
and all that, and the farther we are away from each other and farther we are in opinion and all that stuff, they feed on that energy. It gives them a hard on.
That's right. Yeah, you're
But
right.
the good energy and the higher energies and the ascension energy feeds on our divineness. And all of us being together. That's it. Look at the trucker movement, for crying out loud. It took the most meek, mild country in the whole of the world, Canada, to do something. And the best people who are trained the best. If you want, if you trust anybody in the world, it's going to be a trucker. He knows how to deal with systems. He knows how to get the truck going. He knows how to deliver stuff. If you think about it, he's a highly trained individual, a trucker, he and she. I mean, and the nicest people in the world, and they're actually making a difference.
Yeah, you are absolutely right on with that. They feed off of that. They feed off our fear. And for people that don't know what they're doing, which is a lot of people, they feed off your worship too. When you get these rock stars up there and you worship them and they're on stage and they are sucking the energy out of that audience, and they're getting that energy for themselves.
Who was it in this at the end of last year, there was a concert and kids start dropping dead. Who was that?
Travis Scott. That was yes, that's right. Travis Scott, was that his name?
I don't know. They were sucking the energy out of those people.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Right.
Oh, that was the scariest thing in the world.
Yes,
people are just dropping dead. And we're not talking about that anymore all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you're right. Yeah, they just kind of dropped off the radar. You heard about it, and all of a sudden, like nothing. It's like, hey, are there any lawsuits here? What's going on here? That's like, no, they don't even talk about it anymore.
No, but we could talk about COVID and home testing instead.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so they feed off your fear and they feed off your worship. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Scooter, any thoughts?
Put your mask on, get a test, hide under the covers, duct tape. I remember when Homeland Security started and Tom Ridge had to come out and stand on a couple of phone books in front of the press corps and tell everybody to go buy duct tape and plastic and go home and seal themselves in. And everybody laughed. Yet, you couldn't go to a Home Depot or Ace Hardware or I don't care where and get plastic or duct tape for several weeks.
Oh yeah, because people were panicked. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was when Homeland Security started, and it was then Secretary Tom Ridge. Cute little short guy nobody was scared of. But
man,
we fast forward to this. The polls, not the science, the polls clearly show where this is going. The opposition now has to get ahead of it and start sounding like their opponents did for 2 years, because that drum's been beating. So whoever beats it the loudest will follow. But you're the ones who said 2 years ago to do this. And here we go again, because it's the lowest common denominator idiot voter. Sorry to say that. Because Joe Biden doesn't have 20 million fans and followers on social media and got the most votes in the United States. Okay, if we're going by that story. So anybody who questions whether it's the elections, a possible strategic this could be the biggest psyop in 21st century history. We don't know. And we're all about to get played. The world is getting smaller, and the smaller it gets, the more we're infighting. And that's what they want. Because otherwise we'd look at them and go, you're the ones who caused this. Why aren't we? You can't talk like that. That's threatening. That's hate speech. We have to lock you up. You're the ones who caused this. You're the arsonists. You're the terrorists. You're the imminent threat. You work for us. Game over, player one. And to talk like that now makes me a right-wing extremist, a domestic threat, a possible domestic terrorist. It allows for me to be put on no-fly list, red flag list, any kind of list we can think of to jam you up. And if that doesn't work, well, then we'll start the name calling. I mean, and if we're wrong, if I'm wrong, you as my friend should tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know that you are.
I wish I were.
Yeah. Okay, so the man.
I hope I am.
Here's my take on the PSYOP situation about this. Remember 3 weeks ago? Well, it was 2 weeks before any more flack came out about Russia and the borders and stuff, where Biden and Putin had a meeting. You got to know in the meeting, they're like, okay, yeah, let's do this thing. And, you know, they're all in it together, man.
Sure, they are. Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And even Steiner said, what, like in 1901 or something like that, that the Third World War would be between the United States and Asia and for economic purposes. That's 120 years ago.
And I question if this is a psyop, because we've always been at war with Eurasia and we've never been at war with Eurasia.
Yeah.
It just, we've now experienced what conspiracy theorists warned after September 11th. This isn't about Iraq. This isn't about Afghanistan. This is a psyop. And that puts us into a 20-year war. A war that we knew we were not going to win. Why? Because they damn near bankrupted the Soviets doing the exact same thing. What makes us think we're going to... Western thinking, even in the White House press corps. Does the White House believe in the sincerity of Vladimir Putin? Are you fucking high? Understand the Soviet mentality. They think in 50-year increments. The Chinese think in 1,000-year increments. We can't have an attention span of 2 minutes. You can't sit through a 3-minute news cycle without getting fidgety and checking your phone to see how important you are. And they know that. Who are they? We can go all the way into the depths of Joe and the 13 families, if there are even 13 families that run us anymore. Have they consolidated down to 5? And the bloodlines and how they hide in plain sight. Because Joe, we talked about, for example, even the National Enquirer, broken clocks are right twice a day. John Edwards' love child. John Edwards was being groomed for the White House and then had the affair. And then there was the love child. Had that love child never been exposed, could they have been the next Justin Trudeau? Is Justin Trudeau out of the lineage of Fidel Castro? I mean, and you're asking those questions. You're an imminent threat to democracy. Democracy is 5149. That's a mob. And the United States is a constitutional republic. Hail the republic.
They say that Barbara Bush is the illegitimate daughter of Alistair.
Of Crowley, yeah.
Crowley,
yeah. She absolutely, I completely believe that. She looks exactly like him.
They look exactly the same.
I mean, they do.
And she kept the fetus of her child.
She did. Yeah. Right.
On in the library and study of their house in a jar.
Yeah.
George Bush, who allegedly never worked for the CIA, Operation Zapata and Fidel Castro, but every vessel that George Bush controlled, he named after his wife. She was the role model. No, she was one of the string pullers of the whole.
I mean, think about it. She wasn't attractive.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was married to her for a reason other than her looks.
Right,
I mean, for heaven's sakes, God love her, rest in peace, and I'm going to hell. Where's my Bible? But she was not an attractive woman. I've got my Bible right here.
Well, they intermarried. All these people are related to each other. Yeah. And, if you just take that white hair off her, she looks just like Aleister Crowley.
Oh, my.
They could be twins. They look exactly alike.
And
Backlash is under the desk.
No, I'm looking this up.
Not to be disrespectful, because, all right, Anderson Cooper is Anderson Vanderbilt.
Well, yes, that's
the fact.
Right. Yeah, right.
And yet, here we go with changing the face, changing the story as Anderson Vanderbilt and his husband welcome into the world their second child. How do you run by saying, let the nanny in with the door with our new package? There's our kid. You did not bring a child into this world. Someone else did, and I will bet my left testicle that the person who did that didn't have testicles.
Right on. Yes, that's correct. Or at least they were inverted now, weren't they? Oh my gosh.
But you can't say that. Wait a minute. A woman gives birth to a child, whether it's male or female. Like the villagers from Frankenstein appear with torches and pitchforks and come burn you out of the village. But the child will still be raised under the crown and the crest and the heritage and the lineage of the Vanderbilts, right? Or
Oh,
wrong?
absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am
Well,
I
we
not
don't-
allowed to ask?
I don't know. If we want to get that weird, they could have frozen one of the female in the line, her eggs, and then used Anderson Cooper's sperm.
Could they not then go back into the family crypts and pull the DNA from a Gen 1?
Oh yeah, they
God,
are doing
that'd
that
be
crazy
cool.
stuff
Oh,
with
they-
the
Is it-
DNA at this point.
Oh, they are. They totally are. And they've been doing it for a
Oh.
long time. People think that it's relatively new. It's like, no, these people have been doing this for a long time.
Could you imagine the terrible things they have in laboratories?
I know.
Half human and half
Oh,
not
they do.
human.
About
Yes, they
JL.
do. They absolutely do. And we've talked to people. Scooter, remember we had Cynthia Schneider on our show
Yeah.
several years ago. I mean, she talked about it. They're doing exactly that. Yeah, they are way advanced into that, making
I
you know,
always feel
humans
so
and animals.
sick talking about this subject.
I
I,
know,
really
I
do.
know.
It's so bad.
Yeah, they even have a
Oh,
name
Joe.
for them. They even have a name for
Joe,
them.
this completely got
They even
tangented.
Scooter. Hey, Scooter, just a second.
I have
They
my
even have a
Bible
name
up
for
here.
'em. They even have a name for them called chimeras, which are the DNA splicing between animals and humans, and they have them all over the place. Yes, go ahead.
And Joe, this all got tangented because I said, well, we could go into the 13 families. And then but yet for all I know, some of the the family line exists because it's here, but it's been now so, mafia laundering money term,
Yeah.
but the family name has been laundered.
It has, yeah. I mean, they have interconnecting families with the 13 families, and yeah.
So
And
for the numerology being a symbol, but are there fewer families, or have they just, again, in like mafia, you have the big five. The five names may change, but the five families are needed to prevent a triumvirate. That's why you have a table of five.
A triumvirate. What'd you call me?
What?
Triumvirate. A triumvirate.
All right. Last week it was Roman numerals.
That's right. I do learn things on this show. I really do.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Oh my
A
God.
stool. My ride's here. I gotta go. Three-legged stool.
Three-legged stool.
Is a triumvirate. 1, 2, 3. A try.
Right.
Okay.
Now the fundamental argument of a triumvirate is that there's a third person in the room so that one can't gang up on the other.
Okay.
But that only lasts a generation or so, because then two sides gang up on the other, and then it's duality until one topples the other, and then there's one left.
Boy, that's messed up, dude.
Yeah,
Can I
it is.
just tell you that right now?
I know.
That's human behavior. So in this thing of ours, there's a reason, so the commission is made up of X number of families, but in each region, there would be the
Interconnected
5
families. Yeah, there's interconnected families.
famously
Yeah.
of New York, but you can argue of Kansas City, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, which is fragmented because of gangs. However, the reason for 5 is that the triumvirate fails. A cupola, a table of 5, 50, is solid. Because the minute one of you starts to sniff out the wrong direction, you're out. The table still is solid, and replacing one of you Bugattas is not a problem. So everybody get back out there and earn. Let's go. Good job. Because the only 2 things that are ever economically bulletproof during economic recessions and depression are Hollywood and the mafia. And look what we got in the media right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Triumvirate.
you're not wrong about that.
TRIV.
I'm so excited to learn that. That's really great.
Yeah.
And what's the cupola? That's the 4?
Well, a cupola is an
It's 2
Italian
twos?
word for just a table. A table typically has 4 legs.
Okay.
But in the cupola of La Cosa Nostra, it's 5. Because
watch
there's
The
a sit
Sopranos?
down. You don't call, no, these aren't soprano words. In a sit down,
I'm just kidding.
it's not a sit. You're being called to a cupola. You're being called to a table to sit down in a tone or talk or explain or negotiate or whatever. it's not you're being called in to get killed.
Okay.
But a table has 4 legs. A stool has 3. So for that discussion, and that would be, I guess, Napolitad or Sicilian slang.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. But we definitely do have to do a show about exactly that, about the bloodlines and the 13 families and all that kind of stuff. Because I mean, oh my God, we could take up several hours talking about that. But yeah, we definitely have
What's
to do
the
that.
biggest family to flip? And again, when we started the Conspiracy Keepers years ago, we talked about the Chinese families.
Yeah.
How in the order of possession of the Chinese 13, where are they in the pecking order right now?
Well, it's really hard to tell because everything, these people don't give us an outline of exactly what they've done. So a lot of it,
we don't have their names.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do.
Exactly.
The Lees and the Zhengs. We have that original list.
We have some names, and they might be off by a couple, but probably not much. But the thing is, what I was going to get to is, they didn't hand us a syllabus and say, okay, these are the families. So we have to kind of piece things together. Probably the family that is the biggest, the most powerful as far as China, Japan, and Indonesia is the Lee family, L-I, not L-E-E. Yeah, L-I. So we have a lot of, we have names like the Rothschilds, Rockefellers. We know those two are huge, powerful. So some of them, like I say, there might be some leeway as far as some of them and how are they connected, but probably not much. We can kind of piece together those. But anyway, that's a topic for another show. But boy, that's going to be an interesting show. It'll be cool.
Do you think Anderson Cooper is the most famous of old family to new family, or is there another of the families that have become more prevalent as another name?
Well, I think the Rockefellers would have to be the most notable one, and they pretty much own the media, and they have for a long time. They're the powers behind pretty much everything.
But they
the
don't.
Rothschilds
Their
are
names
behind
aren't
the money.
Rockefellers anymore. What are their names now?
Well, like I say, that's up for speculation. I mean, we know about Vanderbilts, we know about the Browns, we know about Guggenheim, we know about these names. A lot of them named after colleges in the Ivy League. So we know these families are interconnected. Even Disney is interconnected, but we're not sure exactly which ones they're most connected to, but they're all connected to those 13 families. That we know.
Jackie and Joe both. Where's Martha Stewart play out in this chess game?
Well, I don't know. They got her out of prison.
Yeah, exactly. By the way,
Joe, is she an integral player or is she an unwitting pawn?
Well, I think she's one of them, but they send her to prison because here's how these people do things. Everything is done by blackmail with these people. So they all have dirt on all of these people, especially U.S. presidents. So if they get out of line, they'll just expose you and ruin you, kind of like they did, to Bill Cosby. So Martha Stewart, when they send her for what? Insider trading? I mean, who gets caught for insider trading? Unless somebody set you up for this. So she did something to piss somebody off at the top of the pyramid, and they sent her to prison for it. So that's how these games work. They play games with each other, and if you get out of line, they'll expose you and ruin you. And if you are pretty good at making up, well, they might let you come back in like they did her. But these are all games among the power elite.
Exactly, and we have no roadmap. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you at the top of the show when you said predictive programming what are the predictive programming in the Super Bowl? Do we really know predictive programming unless it's seen through the rear view mirror?
It's that's interesting questions that you brought that up. Sometimes it's really difficult to know that unless they've done it, then we can see what they've done. But
that was predicted. We always say that. That was predicted.
Yeah. Right. But it's hard to know until after they've done it. But once we know that, we can kind of set our sights for what they've done. Like, for instance, in a lot of movies, we've seen these predictive programming for Seattle, like the pinwheel, what's the sky thing in Seattle?
Space Needle.
Space
Needle.
Space Needle, yeah. So we've seen a lot of movies where we see that being destroyed. We see a lot of things like with the Golden Gate Bridge being destroyed. So we can kind of tell what they might want to do. And we've seen the same thing with Hoover Dam. So they've done these things that haven't happened yet. We might want to keep an eye on, say, watch for these monuments, watch for these landmarks, watch for Seattle, something to happen in Seattle. But yeah, you're exactly right. Sometimes it's hard to tell until after they've done it. But knowing how they think, we might be able to get kind of a feel for what they might want to do next or somewhere down the line. War Games. Remember the movie War Games? They predicted Seattle, something happening in Seattle. I mean, if you just look it up on the
Las
internet.
Vegas.
Yeah, you just look up on the internet. A lot of the movies are targeted around something happening in Seattle. So yeah, I think that's one of their places they want to hit eventually.
Scooter, do you want to play a game?
Yeah, I was just going to say, would you like to play a game?
Right. Exactly.
Well, we're definitely getting close to our time, gang. And Jackie, you're right. Yeah, I learned something new every day, and today I learned I'm a glutton for punishment for keep coming back just to get my hamsters some exercise. I think is what I'm looking for.
You and Barbie Bush, go find the interview where.
I've got those written down. I've got the Black Cube
Okay.
of Saturn. I'm looking those up.
All right. Well, Larry King interviews the Bushes about the baby in the jar.
That's right. I remember that.
Another
Pensacola, Florida. You're on the air with the Bushes.
King interview. Well, I'll have a little bit more to say next week if I can,
if you can stomach it.
Yeah, if I can get out of the fetal position.
Yeah,
It's
that's
depressing.
The lotus, not the lotus, but the fetal position.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the
depressing.
lotus position is a yoga position where you're sitting on the ground and your legs are folded on top of each other.
Right.
Okay.
I
learned something.
Yeah.
There you go. Go ahead and try it. I want to see your legs folded up there, Scooter.
Not gonna happen.
I think it's to enable the root chakra to touch the ground.
Backlash said the hamsters and the Seattle Las Vegas War Games was where my brain was. It immediately fast forwarded to, instead of the 5 dogs playing poker, was 5 hamsters sitting there playing poker in Backlash's head. We're here for the night. They're on the treadmill. They're smoking cigars. They're playing cards.
Yep, that is for sure. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us again today. And for those watching, remember, you can find us where, Joe?
You can find us at conspiracykeepers.com or theconspiracyzone.net. And they're both linked. You can get us on YouTube as well. But, we kind of want to move away from that because they kind of censor you. So kind of go to our website, which is conspiracykeepers.com.
Perfect.
If today's Tuesday, February 15th, are we agreeing next Tuesday? And what is that date?
That'd be the 22nd, 20 something.
God, we can't even do math?
I know.
I'm curious, only because of prediction on this.
Yeah, it's 22.
22.
Okay.
2/22, 2022.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
We are in the launch window then of a psyop or an attack by the Soviets moving into the Ukraine simultaneously from the north and the south, with a primary push no less to Kyiv or Kiev, however you're saying it in the media. And that would be prediction for 2/22 if we don't come back before then or after then.
Perfect. Well, and if anything happens before, this week is crazy, literally crazy for me. I will not be available until at least Monday. I'm all over the country. So.
Okay.
Oh, but if the world bunkers in and we're all in martial law and there's internet, we have to do a show.
All right.
All right.
Deal.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you. Hope you enjoyed your entertainment. Bye-bye.
Yes, entertainment.